There went a great multitude after him, and he turned and said to them, verse 26. Notice this great multitude. Verse 26, if any man come to me and hate not his father or mother and wife or children and brethren and sisters, yea, his own life, he cannot be my disciples. You can see the conditions. Next verse. And whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. And then he goes on to discuss the fact that anybody who wants to build a house must first count the cost. And right at the end of that, he gives another condition. Verse 33. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he had cannot be my disciple. And the moment he finished verse 33, he now made that ultimate statement. He said, if a salt, that's us. That's who we are as believers. We are salt of the earth. We are light of the world. If salt has lost its savor, it's good for nothing. He said it's not even good for the soil. It's not good for manure. It's not good for anything. You put it in the soil, it makes the soil barren. It spoils the farmland. The only thing you do with it is to throw it away for people to march on it. That's what God does with a Christian that has lost his salt. A ministry that has lost its salt. Is to be trampled underfoot by men. God help us. Thank God that he is beginning to do that. I'm hearing voices of revival here and there. They are not yet the contemporary, the frontline voices. No, but here and there. We were in just ending of last year, I think it was November. The Lord spoke to me deeply. That meeting was a Kairos moment. We were in Lagos for priesthood summit, the same thing. A number of places I've seen signs of Samson's hair growing back. While we were in Jos, it was a mission conference, The Lord did some amazing things in that meeting. But one of the things he left, I and my friends we left with all our heads were. One of the things he said there, he said, many of the people who were, you call fathers, some of them who were in touch with Elton, some of them who were champions of the revival of the 70s, that are fathers. He said, many of them by the end of this decade will be with me in heaven. He said, you might just have about one or two left on the earth. He said, you remember the year before Billy Graham went? And then last year, Bonke. If you check US now, there are one or two like Maurice Eluro, and we don't know how long he has left on earth. When it was about time for the flood to come, Methuselah was the last person to go. The Bible said, then all that generation from Adam that knew God vanished from the earth. It was now Noah. And of course, his boys and their wives. And they were dealing with a generation that is completely. So the Lord said one of the things that needs to begin to happen now within this decade, and he said, don't waste time, is that those ones who were in touch with, who saw the former house in his glory, should be brought into meetings and be allowed to transfer their walk with God, their knowledge of God, their life, because this is more than just knowledge, it's a life, to this coming generation. Because what is imagined now, we have a new generation of pastors that don't know the Lord. We have a new generation of churches that are not even churches. They are just man-made creation to feed a man or to maybe boost a man's ego. There's some creations of some people. There is a whole new generation. He said that gap has to be bridged and it needs to be done fast. Because days are coming. It will be hard to find them. And you will have more of people that have the chaff and are calling it substance. And this generation will be following them because that's what they know. You know, I pity any man that has never tested a revival, and you are just born again into one of these new churches that have no contact with God at all. Because you think that's how Christianity is. You think sleeping with people's wife is what it is. You think that going around carrying gears up and down is what it is. You think that mixing Christianity with charms and all that is what it is. You think lying in the name of God, in the name of prophecy is what it is. And you will grow up thinking that that's what it is. Somebody said, Lord, keep the fathers long enough, lest the children pick up snake and think it's rope.